town. Stick with us. News Source 16 starts right now.
Live in Western Oregon, you're watching KMTR News Source 16. And this is News Source at 6:30.
Only on News Source 16 tonight. One man is dead, another still missing in Eastern Oregon. The one thing mysteriously connecting them, a movie they watched shortly before they disappeared. Good evening. I'm Ty Steele.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Amanda Setzman. In our top story, News Source 16's Ricky Marinon reports from Harney County asking the question, can one movie really be powerful enough to lead someone into the wild?
Two young men who've never met each other get into fights with their girlfriends, watch the movie Into the Wild, come to Oregon, and now one is dead and another is missing. Is this all just a coincidence, or is there more linking the two together?
There are areas of our county that you may not see a human being for 3 or 4 years. It's that primitive. We have over 10,000 square miles. I haven't been on most of it, and I've been sheriff for many years now.
Last spring, sheriff's deputies and search crews gathered on one of Eastern Oregon's most prominent features to find a human needle in a rugged haystack. Steens Mountain is the edge of a large fault that stretches 50 miles from north to south. And last April, after a fight with his girlfriend, Dustin Self drove from Oklahoma City to Steens Mountain and disappeared.
He had watched the movie, Into the Wild, and was going to come over here and get off the grid for a period of time.
The movie Into the Wild is the story of a man who left his conventional urban life to try to make it out in the wilderness. The only problem? At the end of the movie, the main character dies after running out of supplies. Friends describe Self as obsessed with the movie, and last April, he decided to live it for himself.
He's being Dustin, doing this, thinking he's a big man.
Self's disappearance would be an isolated incident until August, when Arizona teen John Kroom would get into a fight with his girlfriend and disappear in Douglas County. His father came to Oregon looking for his son, and what he told News Source 16 sounded strangely familiar.
He liked to keep watching it, and he would ask people to watch it with him and get their impressions.
Kroom, after going through the same circumstances as Self, disappeared into the wild. He was later found, his death ruled a suicide. But with one man dead and another missing, how powerful can one movie really be? Robert Noble with Eugene Therapy has been specializing in the behavior of young men for 10 years. He says the movie did not directly inspire the men to disappear.
In these two cases, several factors came together.
Noble says the two likely watched the movie while trying to process their emotions after the fights with their girlfriends. The movie likely made a bad situation worse.
Between 18 and 25, we're still developing the frontal lobes of our brain, which is really this sort of reasoning and logic and forward thinking. So these young men don't have that ability, and I think that everybody sort of thinks that's not going to happen to me.
Noble says the lesson to be learned is that young men need more guidance on life issues than what they see on television. In this case, the two men were able to associate more with the movie's main character than someone who had previously experienced heartbreak and could guide them through their emotions.
They're dealing with pain, they're dealing with betrayal or loss, they're dealing with anger, they're dealing with confusion, and they don't really know how to process all of those at one time. So they are, again, they're looking for examples out in culture of how men handle difficult times.
Back in Harney County, the search continues.
Dustin's father calls here periodically just for information and see if we've heard anything, and we have not.
So I headed down the long dirt road to see Steens Mountain for myself. Technically, I'm more than halfway to Steens Mountain. It's about 5 o'clock, and hunters and ATV riders have already told me to turn around since I'm unfamiliar with the area and get back on the main surface road. I'm going to turn the camera and show you just how close I got to Steens Mountain, but pretty much the hunters and the ATV riders say when it comes to dark, this place is pretty dangerous, especially when I'm by myself. Self has been spotted around Medford and Eugene, but the sheriff says nothing has been confirmed and believes that Self is actually still on Steens Mountain. The Harney County Sheriff's Office continues to run Dustin's social security number to see if he's applied for jobs, credit cards, and even a place to live. Authorities hope Dustin will come down from the mountain if he's still up there. These photos show in just a matter of weeks, the mountain will go from summer conditions back to the same conditions Self drove into back in April. The Harney County Sheriff's Office will continue to patrol Steens Mountain and this area around it, hoping to find any sign of Dustin Self. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Harney County Sheriff's Office. Reporting near Steens Mountain in Harney County, I'm Ricky Marinon, News Source 16.
Now, the Sheriff's Office will not officially confirm if Dustin is dead until a body is found. That's out of respect for his family. They remain in constant contact with investigators.
Well, all those fall colors helped liven up the gray day across the area as some went for a walk in Skinner Butte Park. News Source 16.